All right. Good morning, everyone. My name is Rachel Richards, and I'm going to be your host this morning. I know you guys all miss Jamil's face, but I'll do the best that I can. There is absolutely no substitution for his starts in our mornings. So I wanted to start out this morning with gratitude, the way that we always do, and really get our minds set in thinking about things that are good and uplifting. But I want to also look at gratitude is something that can really be the best antidote towards comparison. And as I was thinking about my own path getting to ED and then kind of growing beyond that, I was thinking about some things that really were helpful in that process. And one of those things was gratitude and really watching against any of the inferior thoughts, right? So comparison is the opposite of gratitude. And so sometimes we can get caught up in comparison on our way to ED and beyond. I was thinking, that's probably one of the greatest traps of our business in terms of mindset and something that would actually slow you down in your growth towards ED and beyond. And when you think about comparison, good morning. When you think about comparison, it can either have one of two different mindsets that live underneath it. One would be the comparison of I'm inferior. Okay, maybe you think about your business and you compare it to someone else and it creates feelings of inferiority. I can't even say that right. So I look at all the people in this business and it should give us such great hope, because no matter what your background is or your level of education, or you just look at it and you go, wow, we all got the same kit. Like the coach's kit creates that unity in our experience. We all got the same business kit that came to our house, but we can have feelings of being inferior in this journey. We can also compare ourselves and have feelings of being superior to other people, right? So in my personal journey headed out to ED, I was thinking about it this morning and I thought, I didn't suffer from the comparison of feeling inferior, but I definitely had a closed, fixed position. I did not come in to Optavia with a growth mindset. I thought I did. That's the saddest thing about that story, is that I actually thought I had this entrepreneurial spirit, right? Like I have a growth mindset. I've run companies before. I've done all these great things. Well, it was my superior mindset, thinking I didn't need the trainings. I didn't need to go to that event, or I have done all these things. I have a wellness practice. Like, do I really need to get on that call? Do I really need to hear this said this way or that way? I've already heard it before. So I was thinking, I'm just being really raw with you guys this morning. A superior mindset is as dangerous as an inferior mindset. And it can keep us in those fixed and closed positions. So this morning, I wanted to start out with a welcome of how grateful I am that you are all on the call and that you are investing in yourself. And the fact that you're here and on this call says that you're in a growth mindset, that you need training, and that you need to learn from other people. And that even though you've heard something said maybe once, twice, 3 times before, can you teach it, right? Not only did you hear it, but can you teach it? And if you can teach it, can those that you're teaching it to teach it? And so it really helps you to see, like, I'm never going to be done. Like, there is no finish line. There is no rank that you hit and you're like, well, I've arrived, and it's just so important that we give ourselves a safe space to grow. And you guys, I needed a safe space to grow. And I needed mentors, plural, that were going to look at my superior mindset, or look at the ways that I might be closed and fixed and opinionated, and start to challenge me lovingly back towards the things that I said I wanted. If I wanted my husband home from all his overtime, that closed fixed position, need to be right mentality was not going to serve me. And it wasn't going to help me accomplish that goal. I would have stayed right where I was at. And I thought, again, well, and I'm an entrepreneurial thinker. Well, guess what? That's not the end all be all. Investor mindset is where I needed to go. So sometimes we come in and we can attend these trainings in very different aspects of mindset. Sometimes we come in with an employee mindset. Somebody just needs to tell me what to do and I'll do it. Or we take feedback and we get very defensive because in our employer-employee roles of life, when someone says, hey, I'd like to be on that call with you, we're like, wait a second, did I do something wrong? Like, why are you asking to be on the call with my client? Like, they love me, they trust me. That employee mindset keeps us from celebration calls, keeps us from those team coaching opportunities. And so then we think, well, no, I've graduated through that. And now I have an entrepreneurial mindset, right? Which is fabulous because you're growing. But an entrepreneurial mindset has its own limitations. And then finally, today, what we want to invite you to is an investor mindset. This is investing into your clients so that they can become empowered, educated, equipped, and that this is a journey of self-efficacy, and that you're thinking about investing into them so they can invest into other people, and you're no longer trapped by an employee or an entrepreneurial mindset. It's going to be some exciting stuff that we share with you today. I get to co-host with James Richard and both Kelly Meyer Floyd, and very excited to share with them. They have so many nuggets for you. In this business, both of them being integrated regionals, they have gone to ED, and they've also shown that skill set to another person or persons. So I'm excited to share the floor with them today. And so I'm going to turn it over actually, and we're going to start out with a story from James, and he's going to enlighten us with some really good stuff about his path. But before we do, type in the chat for me. I tend to suffer from an inferior mindset or a superior mindset. And this is going to take a little bit of work for you to dig deep and trust this audience, because you're going to type it in the chat. And I will tell you that mine was superior, right? So with that, I want to turn it over to James Richard and have him share some words of wisdom and nuggets with us this morning.
All right, good morning. Can you hear me? Yep, very cool. Good morning, everybody. And thank you, Rachel, for having me and allowing me to share. So I want to just share with you guys a little bit about me and my story and my journey with coaching with Optavia, and also from a brand new coach to executive director. So a little bit about me and my story is, when I started with Optavia, I came into this wanting to become a coach. I was not looking, I didn't come into this for the weight loss. I wasn't looking to get healthy. I wasn't looking to lose weight. I didn't think I had any weight to lose. I wanted to become a coach. And the reason why I wanted to coach was really two reasons. One, I just saw what was possible as a coach. And two, I love helping people. That's always been a passion of mine, is just loving and helping people. But I also saw what was possible as a coach from my coach, just from living out loud on Facebook. And I wanted complete control over my time, my day. The freedom was some of the things that I for years I've been searching and looking for. So when I started, again, I did this because I wanted to coach. I resisted getting on program. I didn't want to do the program. Didn't think I needed to do the program. I've never really struggled with my weight. So when I got started, I did do the program. Like I said, I fought it for a little bit, but I had good results. I had lost 20 pounds in 30 days. I got down to a 9% body fat and just got shredded and ripped, and all that was pretty cool. But what helped me on my journey going from a new coach to executive director, it was a lot of things, but things that really came to mind when I think back was one of those things was I trusted my coach. I listened to him, and I had trust in my coach that I knew that everything he was telling me was only going to benefit me. So for example, like getting on program, that was one that I didn't feel I needed to do. And he said, James, I would recommend, or I would suggest that you try the program so that if you're coaching, supporting other people. So that was something that I did. I did the program and had amazing results. Another thing that kind of helped me in the beginning from going from a new coach to executive director was going to convention. So 2 weeks into my coaching journey, I was only a coach for 2 weeks. My coach tells me, James, you need to go to this national convention in Dallas. I told him, I said, I just bought my coaching kit on a credit card. I just bought the program that I didn't want to do on a credit card. And now you want me to figure out a way to get to Dallas. But we figured out a way and we made it happen. So again, trusting my coach, because I knew that if this was something I was going to do, that going to that event was important. And I know this year we're not having a convention, but I highly suggest and recommend any big events that Optavia, any big event that Optavia is doing, go to those, attend those events. We're doing them. We're going to be doing, we just had a Rise Up and a Business Momentum online, which was amazing, but coming up, they're going to be doing more online. So definitely recommend you do that. Another thing that really helped me in that process was when I did go ED, I went ED the blended path, which was a combination of supporting clients. And I also had a coach on my team that was a senior coach. And how that worked for me, or how I did that, is because from the beginning, my coach really helped me to develop a sponsoring mindset. So you guys know when you first buy your coaching kit and you write out a list and you sit down with your coach and your coach says, who are some people you feel can benefit? Or who are some people that we can do a couple practice calls with, or who's noticing, who was watching. So when I wrote down that list, my list, half of that list was not people that I felt needed to get healthy or needed to lose weight. They were people like me who was looking for an opportunity, who was looking, that I felt that I could approach about coaching. So I remember when I did my practice calls with my coach in the beginning, my second or third call was a coach explore call. So from the very beginning, he helped me kind of understand how this is more than just weight loss, but people are looking for an opportunity like I was looking for. So that was very crucial in the beginning, really developing that sponsoring mindset early on. Of course, there was some challenges that I had in the process, even still to this day. But one of my biggest challenges was I was an expert at creating stories. I was able to make up some stories that would disable me, that would make me not want to do anything. Like I was really, really good at it, you guys. And I remember just some of those stories that I could think of when I would go back and tell my coach, and his response would always be, James, if you're going to create a story, make it an amazing story. And when he said that, that was kind of mind blowing to me, because it's so true that if I'm going to make up a story, if I'm going to create this story that's not true, in my mind, I thought it was true, but when I would create this story, if I knew it wasn't true, then make up an amazing story that's going to serve you, that's going to help you to reach your goals. And this is something that all throughout my coaching journey, I've really been good with, where if I'm going to make up a story, and realizing that a lot of the things that we make up or we think in our mind are not true. They're not facts, but they're stories that we're making up. So when I learned to make up stories that's going to serve me and help me reach my goal, for me, that was a complete game changer. Just some of those things I want to share with you guys. Some of those stories I would create was, I didn't think I had a big enough weight loss story. As a new coach, I thought I only lost 20 pounds in 30 days. Like that was a story that I created that people wouldn't be able to relate to. Another one was, before I started Optavia, I did a lot of different businesses, multiple different businesses. And I created this story that when I would go out and reach out to these people, that they would have these thoughts or this idea of, James, what are you doing now? Or what are you trying to, show me now? I created all these stories. It's amazing that 3 years I've been coaching, not once did anyone ever tell me that. So it was just learning how to change that story to something that's gonna help me, that's gonna serve me. And a lot of that was just the mindset that I got to develop early on. And just to kind of finish up, I love how every day one of our action steps is to suspend all thinking and all fear. There's a reason why, you guys notice, every single day that's one of our action steps. And our coaches do that for a reason. All the trainers, when they develop and design this training, it's for a reason. They're not just having us do these action steps for to see us suffer, doing a Facebook Live and be scared, but it's actually for a reason. So one of my biggest tips or takeaways I would leave for you guys is really trust all the things these trainers are telling you to do, and trust your coach, trust your support team, because they're only doing it to help you improve yourself and your business.
Thank you so much, James. That was awesome. You hit something that is so paramount to this whole business and all of its extensions, and that's trust. And we do have to have an immense amount of trust with our mentor and with our coach, because everything is going to derive from that. And so that's where we can ask early and often in the process, can I just ask you to trust me? I know that, and this is interesting because sometimes we'll come in and maybe we're a referral. So I think with referrals, this is really interesting. We've been talking a lot about referrals, and I find that to your point, that trust is paramount because everything's going to grow out of that soil. And so as we start building referrals, sometimes we'll be coaching people that are 2-3 layers removed from us. But what that says is that first layer trusted us enough to tell us to their friend who trusted us enough to, so it's that speed of trust all the way through the business. And I think that you have done a great job sharing that with us this morning. So thank you for those nuggets. I love the most powerful thing that I got out of what you said was the famous, hey, if you're going to make up stories, at least make up stories that serve you and that have a bright future, right? Let's not make up the doom and gloom, what if stories that just don't serve us at all, So I would actually like to start out. My section today is going to be practical and a lot of mindset around how do we coach out of the life book? How do we put off, let me give you some things to put off. Let's put off food copying. Let's put off hero coaching. Let's put off the need to be right. If we just start putting off as many things as we can, it's really going to allow you to put on the things that are going to really give you the breakthrough in your own personal health journey, which is a priority, right? We have to take care of our own well-being before we can take care of anyone else. And those things won't serve our health, and they certainly won't serve the health of our team and the extensions of our team as we grow and our clients. So I want to start out with a story. And this is a story that I was thinking about the other day when it comes to client integration, empowering, equipping, and allowing our clients to outgrow us so that they can be an extension of the vision and mission from Dr. A. If they don't outgrow us, how can they extend the vision and mission of what we're trying to do? Right? They're going to stay like you, those of you that are parents, that child that's on your leg and you at a party and you're just kind of like, please get off my leg and go say hello to some people, right? I need you to get off of my leg. That's how hero coaching can actually look. And it's not helpful for the client and it's not helpful for the coach. So I want to start out with this story. I went to high school. Well, I went to 4 high schools in 4 years, you guys. That was, you talk about the obstacles, the way, and why, it happened for me though, because I'm extremely social and I can kind of get to know someone really quickly because man, imagine having to make friends like 4 high schools in 4 years. So I was in Moreno Valley, at a school called Valley View High School. And I was really good friends with our star running back. And I won't say his name, but anyway, he was an incredible athlete. And his father had died tragically. He died. His father was his best friend, and he died tragically, and it really wrecked him. And so he was going through grief, and he was struggling in school, and he was always flirting with academic probation, always. And so I took pity on him and was like, okay, we would go into economics class together, and and he'd always say like, Beleno, that was my maiden name, Beleno, I need to get that homework, or I need to sit with you and have you help me with this test. And so I was flattered that the star running back would want to like copy my notes or whatever. And so I did it. You guys, I gave him the answers to the test a lot, and I let him copy my homework a lot. And I thought I was helping him so that he could go to the schools that he wanted to go to. He wanted to go to USC, and he had every shake at that, and it was possible. And I felt like if I didn't help him, then he wouldn't get to go to USC, and he wouldn't get to have breakthrough for his family. And his dad had died, and it was so important that he succeeded. And so I gave him the answers to the test. And he did. He went to USC, had an incredible package presented to him there, incredible. Everybody at our school was very proud of him. And about a year, 9 months into that experience, we all heard like, hey, did you hear? Like, he's not there anymore. He had to leave because he was always on academic probation at USC. And so it affected me personally because I felt like I was a part of that issue and that I didn't do what was right for him. I did the easy thing by giving him the answers to the test, but he failed the final, right? So when I think about hero coaching, it hits me just like that, where it's like I could actually, I find myself as I'm talking to you guys, like emotional, because it's like we don't want to do that to the people that trust us, right? They're trusting us with their health and their well-being. And the last thing we want to do is give them all the answers to the things that they need to overcome. And they can't afford to fail their final because we hero coach them, or worse, we made decisions for them. We can't make decisions for our clients. We can't say, this guy's a fireman, he's never going to read the life book, so I'm just going to leave it out of his kit. I already know he's not going to read. He's a crusty fireman. He's sleep deprived. Last thing he's going to do is pick up this thing, right? Look, it's intimidating. It's big, right? All those things. Or we can't afford to say, oh, this is a busy mama, I'm not even going to tell her about the Wednesday night calls. She has kids climbing all over her. The last thing she could do is get on a call on Wednesday night and sit and listen to something in quiet, right? We can't afford to make decisions for other people. So I would ask you, just gut check. Are you giving away answers to the test? And are you making decisions for other people on any level with anything? Like, guys, I was offending that so badly in my early days of coaching, so badly. I'm probably in the top 10 worst if there was a list. Okay. So like, don't do what I did because it's painful. I was not only hero coaching and food copying and making decisions for other people. So hopefully this gives you guys hope because you can overcome those stinking thinkings around here. You just got to be willing. You got to be willing to let people pour into you. So I share that story with you because the other thing when you think about what we're doing is we've got to provide a consistent experience, don't we? It has to be consistent. So when I don't eat McDonald's, but if I did, I know that McDonald's fries taste like McDonald's fries, right? I don't care if I'm driving through one state, another state, those fries more or less taste the same. And that continuity and that consistency is something that people can count on. And I have been called a lot by different people or people that have texted me and like, hey, my coach didn't tell me anything about a book. My coach doesn't tell me about Wednesday night calls. I don't even know like what all this stuff is. And this can happen in client support pages, right? Where their clients are like, I don't know anything about that. I didn't get a condiments list. I didn't get a welcome email. I don't know what she's talking about. Like, did I get slighted? And then once they find out what was available and they didn't get offered it and you made the decision for them, massive trust fracture. It's hard to recover from trust fractures, really hard. And we don't need to put that on ourselves, right? We would be doing that to ourselves. So I think the thing that really fixes all of that is just following the process that has been laid out for us and not trying to reinvent the wheel on anything. So I think some of you may have been coaching for a long time. I came in when it was Take Shape for Life, and we didn't have life books, or we had the old book. And even then, I'm so embarrassed to tell you that I didn't order those for my clients. I was like, oh, you could just buy it off Amazon and save some money. And how terrible, right? Like, I'm confessing all of this to you guys because I want you to never look at someone and be like, oh, they're global, they probably did everything right. No, they probably made every mistake in the book and just kept at it and kept at it and kept at it. If anyone has been around to any level here, what I'm seeing is they've made a ton of mistakes and they just didn't quit. And that's the only difference. You're not inferior. Don't put people on pedestals, because I have made so many mistakes, and I'm so grateful that Jamil and Michelle and everyone is able to allow me to share my mistakes with you, as well as things that are working for me. And I'm going to get to the stuff that's working for me. It's not going to be all mistakes, but bear with me. So with the process of integration and not being a hero coach and not making decisions for people, how are we going to do this? We need to set a vision for the client. Okay. So part of the soft skill for you with integration and coaching out of the life book is setting a vision. Can you set vision around integration? Can you awaken someone to see the value in integration? That's step one. So there are a number of things that I tell people in order to awaken them and be willing to do that process with me. Okay. And some of those things that I tell them is, would you agree that this has been a struggle in your life for a long time? And they'll say, yes, I have been in this food situation or faulty habits or lack of fulfillment or whatever for a very long time. And then I say, okay, so you would agree that, would you agree that if I walked in your kitchen and I moved your trash can to the other side of the room, would you find yourself walking to the old location often, do you think? How many days do you think that would take for you to go to the new location and know that the trash can has been moved? Harvard says it takes 66 days to actually cement new habits. Would you agree with that, about 66 days? Yes, great. And what I'm doing is I'm getting their buy-in that there's no way that this could be, well, I'm going to give this thing 2 weeks and see how it goes. Or, excuse me, I'm going to give this a month and see how it goes. That actually wouldn't work, right? So what I tell them is, you're going to get a life book. And your life book is going to be how we together are going to rewrite your story. Sounds like you want to rewrite your story. It sounds like, I'm going to mute myself and clear my voice. I'm so sorry, guys. Bear with me. So sorry about that. It sounds like we're going to rewrite your story. And in the life book, when you get it, it's going to have 26 elements. Each one of these elements is going to take us about 2 weeks to unpack. And that's going to take about a year. 26 times 2 is a year. You've been struggling for 13 years with these issues, principles, and mindsets. It's going to take us about a year together to get you through induction, transition, and optimization. Remember, I'm not leaving you at weight loss. We're gonna get you the healthy body, and then we're gonna keep going, right? So excite them around rewriting their story. Get their buy-in that they don't need another diet, and that their habits is what really needs changing, not willpower, right? I tell them we're gonna exchange your willpower for skill power. The skill power is going to be these, like brushing your teeth. I ask them, do you have to have willpower to brush your teeth at night, or do you just do it? They're like, oh, I just do it. Right. So all of these changes that we're going to make, we're going to hit it like that. We're not going to have willpower as our principal source of energy, because it's an exhaustive resource. And so they start getting excited around, hey, maybe this lady knows what she's talking about. Like, this stuff makes sense. So now the second thing is, if I want referrals and I want integration and I want coaches, then I have to start integrating them early. So I think I brought this up on a former training, but guys, we have 5 to 6 days before they get their kit. How are you building trust in that 5 to 6 days? How are you pre-integrating in that 5 to 6 days? Are you sending them Stop, Challenge, and Choose? Are you saying, you know what? This is going to be a neck up program. Yes, I'm going to get you in fat burn and detach you from all the foods that do not serve you. Why? Because I want you to have a clear head for the stuff that we're really going to work on. Okay. And there's no way, if you're addicted to sugar, MSG, and tired, that you're going to have the ability to execute on the things that really matter to you. So first, we're going to get you in fat burn, energetic, sleeping, clear head, so that you can start really doing things that serve you and take things out of your life that no longer serve you towards the things that we talked about on that health assessment, and go back to a couple of them. So on a couple things from the health assessment, make sure you highlight that, and that you get that full circle moment with them on their night before call of, you know, in order for you to engage your kids in a way that's meaningful, we're going to have a clear head. That's why we're going to get into fat burn the first week. We're only going to be talking about food for the first week. And then after that, we're on to the real program, which is going to be your life book and all the points of integration, all the anchors that you're going to need to keep your boat stable as we navigate and rewrite your story. I'm so excited for you. You're going to love fat burn. You're going to love what's happening in your physical body. But that is absolutely not our program. Our program is about whole body wellness and personal development. So week 2, we'll start talking about that. So I would ask you, yes, how's that early integration game? How are you guys sharing the 4 parts of our program? And do you feel like you've got a really strong handle on the 4 components of our program? And there's a share document that you can get in the back office that will kind of give you those brief explanations on community and our nutrition and the coaching and the behavioral systems. And so if you feel like those things are weak and you're a new coach and you're like, wow, I'm trying to get to ED and I don't know that I really know how to explain those well, go ahead and get that share document so that you can start to really learn how to describe and awaken them to our truest program. So some of the things for me that I share with them, and just so you know, guys, and I'm going to spell this out really, really clearly in just a minute, integration equals client retention, which equals referrals, which equals coaches. Okay. So if you remove the integration, now you have this amazing dieter who's going to lose the weight, but spoiler alert, they're going to gain it all back at some point. And that is not going to get you referrals, and that is not going to have coaches in your organization. So integration, when we might even think, well, I don't have time to do all that integration stuff. These people came to me, they wanted to lose some weight, and I'm just going to help them do that. They will pass the test most likely because our nutrition is on point, but they'll probably fail the final. Okay. And so we really want to move away from that. I let them know at the first, second, third, every interaction, I let them know, remember, we're not a nutrition company and we're not a diet company. This is about personal development, and you deserve that. You deserve all the self-care that is baked into this thing. Okay. So when you think about explaining to them those 4 parts of the program, remember the first part is the coaching. And so do you guys share with them, like, I'm going to be your one-on-one health coach, but also we do a lot of group coaching. I'm sure you already knew that we do group coaching because of the cost of our program. You would know it's not all one-on-one, right? Like one-on-one coaching, this is just me being unplugged to all of you guys. It's very expensive. It is. I mean, I charged $60 to do a health assessment, former to Optavia, and that was for friends. It was more than that if it wasn't, because I was investing an hour. Every check-in I charged. Every protocol I gave them, I charged. So one-on-one coaching is expensive, right? So you need to we're not going to get into that with a client, but we're going to excite them around the reason why this program is so affordable is because it comes with one-on-one coaching, but we do a ton of group coaching, and you're going to love it because we're going to have you on Wednesday night calls, group coaching. We're going to have you in your client support page, group coaching. You're going to talk to my coach at the end of week 1, group coaching. And again, at the end of month 1, group coaching. So you're making it so normal for them at the beginning that they're like, oh yeah, she said there was going to be all this group coaching as well as the one-on-one. So it's not weird unless we make it weird, right? So it's like really normal for them to go, oh, okay, that I was expecting that. So do you guys talk about group coaching and how amazing it is and how much more value they get, because it's not just you and your IQ and your EQ, it's a bunch of other people. It's the team IQ that's coming at them with that collective reasoning. So that's really exciting. All of this at every interaction, we let them know, like, you're going to outgrow me. You're already outgrowing me. And then when it comes to the community, so how cool is this? So I tell clients in this client support page, this is your new playground, new friends, because you said a lot of your friends are going to be kind of poo-pooing your health journey. So we knew that. We already knew that. That's why we're putting you in a space where it's a safe place to make changes. Okay, so you got some new friends in there. Go say hi to a couple. I'm going to challenge you this week to go into the client support page and be a contributor, not a consumer. Okay, part of what's not serving you is consumer-based thoughts. I want you to be a contributor. So this week, why don't you go in and take a picture of something you ate and share the recipe and drop it in the client support page. You're going to encourage someone that just started their program. Why am I doing that? Because the more they contribute, the more I plus Q equals A. They're going to start acting like a coach in the page, and then I can spot them coaching and say, look at you. You're such a contributor in our client support page. You're in there welcoming people, sharing your recipes. That's coaching. You're just a coach without a kit, right? We have a coach on our team, Kristen Reyes, and I love it because that's her saying. I can't steal it. She says, that guy's a coach without a kit. And it's fun because that makes it very lighthearted to say that to someone and say, you're a coach without a kit. Like, you're already doing it, right? You just don't know. And so by getting them to participate in those client support pages, you're going to get them to practice coaching and see that they actually, in fact, can do it. So on the night before call, I always have them get their life book out of the kit. Okay, here's some practical stuff for the next 2 minutes. I'm going to hit you with practical. This is the night before call. I have them open it up and write their name in it. Okay, powerful. Write your name in your life book while you're talking to me. Own it. You're going to rewrite your story. You're going to learn so much about yourself and why all those former diets never served you. You're going to see so much growth in the next 6 months, and you're going to look back and see stuff that you wrote and be like, I can't even identify with myself when I wrote that. Like, I don't even feel that way anymore. But if we don't have it in writing, we can't celebrate it, right? So this is so exciting for them to write their name in their life book and start to see. And I let them know that all of these things, the Wednesday night call, the app, the coaching, the life book, everything that they're doing, the community, it's part of their reticular activating system, as we heard from Michael yesterday, right? That's powerful. You can say that reticular activating system. You sound really smart, and you let them know that, hey, this is like when you get that new car and you're like, hey, they have my new car, they have my new car. Or when you're pregnant, they're pregnant, they're pregnant. It's because your brain is keeping in front of you what it thinks is important. And so if I keep your life book in front of you and the Wednesday night call and our conversations and nourish, what do you think your chances of success are going to be versus just doing the food, right? Food got you in trouble. It's not going to get you out. And if we focus on food, you're going to pass the test and fail the final. Spoiler alert, clients that don't do the neck up side of the program gain their weight back. Okay, so I tell them just like that. Now, really quick, I want to tell you guys how I coach out of the life book and how our team is starting to really use this and this alone. Like, we have a couple of ways that we do that. We've even made little like cheat sheets for ourselves, right? And you guys can create that too. So every interaction that I have with a client comes back to the life book. So every problem you face in coaching, every problem, obstacle you face in coaching is going to come back to the life book. And I'm going to show you really quick. Excuse me, Rachel, why can't we have fruit? Like, fruit's healthy. I'm on the plan. I'm on day 4. I'm doing the thing. But I have to tell you, I don't understand why we can't have fruit. Like, fruit never makes you fat. Why can't I have it? Well, you know what? I'm so pumped that you asked me this. So I have a challenge for you. I'm not going to answer that because I don't want to take this from you. But I want you to go to element 12. And I know you're in element 1 and you're writing your story right now. And I'm so excited to talk about that on our weekly check-in. So I let them know on my weekly check-in, have this in front of you because this is what we're going to be coaching from. After week 1, I'm not talking to you about food anymore. Food is nourished. It's Journey to Health. It's Pinterest. It's your guidebook. It's Sandy's Kitchen. It's not me. I'm going to coach the true program. Okay. So I'll talk to you about it week 1. And then after that, we're out of here. So I'm so pumped you asked me that. Go to element 12. I'm going to have you skip ahead. You're a little bit ahead of the class, I tell them, which is awesome. But I want you to read element 12 and text me back why you can't have fruit in phase 1. Okay. And they always do it. I mean, occasionally they drag their feet and I'll just be like, what did you learn? And oh, I forgot. Okay, I'll do it. So then what about fear of missing out? I'm going to a party, I'm going to a brunch, and I feel like I'm missing out and I don't want to take my bar and all of that. Or I have people in my house saying that this is way too little food that I'm eating and that I'm starving my body or all that, right? So I let them know, remember, you're going to have some accomplices in your journey and some friends. Go to element 5. My challenge for you is element 5. I want you to really dig into healthy surroundings. And then you tell me next time we talk, who else we need to get healthy together so that you start changing the culture in your home. That takes time and that takes people. But read element 5 and let's see if we can kind of create a list of people that may want to get healthy with you so that they can start seeing the benefits like you are, right? I'm having a tough time with water. Great. You have the app on your phone, right? No, I forgot to download it. Let's go ahead and get that. Let's get a straw and let's go ahead and go to element 10. And then I'm also going to shoot you over a podcast with all the links to all the podcasts. And I'm going to ask you to read element 10. Extra credit would be listen to the podcast that goes with it. And then you tell me why water is so important in this journey and how fat burn is slowed down if we don't get that water. Okay, what about the 5 and 1-isher? Every week, you guys. I'm off program. I'm on program. Great. Element 16, page 322. They need to take their food addiction susceptibility quiz, and you need them to start seeing that this is a little bigger than them just falling out of a habit system. Life is hitting me hard. I've had deaths. I've had these things. I've had a job loss. I've had. And while we definitely want empathetic coaching, we have to send them to element 23, healthy mind. I tell them your menstrual cycle is going to hit every month. So every month, are we going to not, get on the path of healing? Is that what you're saying? Because this is going to happen every month. So either we get better because it's not going to get better, right? So let's go to element 23 and see how you can get better when things are not always better around you. And then are the fueling safe? I don't know. Are these fueling safe? Element 9, element 12, and the podcast on how they were made with our dietitians and our nutritionists. And I say to them, not only are they safe, but after reading that element, they're safer than fresh food. Safer than fresh food, safer than fresh food in phase 1. Fresh food is something that, we can get into that. But you guys see that I'm coaching them right out of the life book. So now I'm going to turn it over to Miss Kelly, and she is going to give you some more nuggets, and then I will take it back with action steps for you guys to get all of this in play.
Oh my gosh, guys, do you have pages of notes? Because I always have pages of notes on these. I've been coaching for over 3 years, and I take notes every single time because I hear things that I have never heard before. I learn things that I did not know. I think of how this can apply to a client that I have, and I'm always evolving and changing and growing because of trainings like this. So I'm so glad that you guys are all here. Literally, James and Rachel have just dropped so many gold nuggets on us, so many truth bombs on us. And if you put into practice the things that they are teaching us, we're going to have amazing businesses and really be able to forward this mission and help a ton of people. So when you're just listening to Rachel talk about coaching, she is coaching from the Life Book. But I have a question for you guys. Do you have a structured day of support that you do coaching on? Or 2 days at most? Maybe you have really, really a lot of clients. I have about 30 clients that I'm supporting weekly. And so I have 1 day of coaching support. Do you have a day like that? If you do, I want you to drop an I do in the chat. I'm curious how many people have a day that they do their coaching check-ins. And if you have a day that you are doing coaching check-ins, and maybe you didn't used to have a day that you were doing coaching check-ins, is it easier or harder to have them all on 1 day? And drop that in the chat. Say easier or harder if you have a structured day. And I want you all who don't have a structured check-in day to check out the chat and see how many people have that day and how many people are dropping in there. It's easier. It's easier. It's easier. Here's what I'm going to tell you. When I started coaching, I didn't have a structured day. I fitted in the nooks and crannies of my week, which meant that there was no structure and there was no consistency. I'm fairly certain I didn't call all my clients every single week. I am fairly certain that my check-ins lasted forever, and I was just talking about whatever came to my mind because there was no structure to it. And I fought it. I fought the structure. I thought I can do it this way. This works for me. I'm a busy mom. I'm a supervisor. I'm all over the place. Like, I can be efficient and just do it in my car when I'm driving from place to place. And eventually, I noticed that I was doing a lot of hero coaching. I noticed that it was taking over my life. I felt like I was coaching 24/7 because I had established that precedent with my clients that I would talk to them anytime because I didn't have a structured day of coaching. I never postured that we were going to do one-on-one coaching 1 time a week. Now, that doesn't mean I don't ever talk to my clients any other time of the week. That doesn't mean that I'm not texting back and forth with them and voice messaging. I am, but I have 1 day that we are checking in for sure on the phone for about 5 to 10 minutes. And I'm going to be talking with them about the Life Book. That is our time. And that has made the biggest difference in my coaching business. I'm not overwhelmed anymore. My clients know when I'm going to call them. They answer the phone when I call them. They know that I'm going to respect their time when I'm on the phone with them. They even know the questions I'm going to ask because, spoiler alert, if you're not in your life book, and at the end of each element, it asks the same questions that it has us ask in our coaching guide. And so I literally get on with some of my clients, and here's how you can do a 5-minute check-in, guys, for all of you who are like, how do you do it in 5 minutes? You get on and you're like, hey, how'd your week go? What's been happening? And they give you a very brief, whatever's been happening. Usually I've, texted back and forth with them about different things. So I know that they did this on Sunday, and I know that this happened on this day because they've already told me. We've got a level of trust going on. And you get on there and you're like, so which element were you working in this week? I already know what element they were working in, but I want them to tell me. I was working in 4 this week. Oh my gosh, that's awesome. And I have trained a lot of them so well that they immediately begin to answer the questions because they answer them at the end. And so they pull their life book out when it's our time to talk. They flip to the back of their element where they've written the answers to these questions, and they start answering those questions. And guess what? Because they do that, that means I can get into those extra questions that are listed in the elements in your life, your coaching guide, these ones that are down here. I can get into those. And that's how my check-ins take 5 to 10 minutes when we're just covering the life book and that part of their journey. Guys, I have set an expectation with them. They know what we're going to do. They know we're going to be on. They know we're going to be off. They know I'm respecting their time. I am empowering them versus enabling them. I am showing them where to find the resources instead of giving them the answers. I am teaching them to go search the client side. I'm teaching them that I don't know all the answers. Guess what? I don't know all the answers. I've been a coach for 3 years. I don't have to know all the answers. Do you know why I don't have to know all the answers? Because we have this amazing life book that has most of the answers. We have this amazing coaching client support site that knows most of the answers. I mean, most of us have thousands of people in that site. And so when you have a client that's like, hey, I want to eat some sushi, do you know how that counts? And I say, have you checked in the site? Have you done a search in there? And they're like, oh my gosh, no, I haven't done a search in there. Why don't you go do that and then tell me? Because I don't know. I don't eat a whole lot of sushi right now. And then they go, and it doesn't matter if I know or I don't know. I want them to learn how to find their answers. And so I am setting all these precedents on our structured day of coaching. Guys, when you have a structured day of coaching, it buys your time back. You actually put limits and boundaries on your business. When you have a structured day of coaching, you also get in a really nice groove when you're doing these check-ins because you're doing them back to back to back. Do you know how excited I am after all those check-ins? I'm kind of tired, not to lie, but at the end, I'm like, man, I feel like a freaking rock star because I've got all of these clients who are doing the do. I've got all these clients who are integrating in. I have all these clients that are making these amazing mindset shifts because I am just working on that one day. And it is amazing. It's an amazing feeling. So if you aren't doing a coaching, a structured day of support, I'm going to encourage you to do that. And here's a couple of things that happen if you don't. I just want to, I guess, give you a little bit of a glimpse into my failures or my learning points, my areas of learning. When I didn't do a structured day of support and people did decide to coach, which I don't even know why they decided to coach because I was not making it look easy and I was not being a very good coach. I was being a hero coach, but they decided to coach anyway. Guess what they did? They didn't do a structured day of support. They were coaching their clients for 30 minutes on God knows what. I have no clue what they were coaching them on because that's what I had done. I had modeled bad things for them and that duplicated down into my organization. And it didn't just hurt me. It hurt them. It hurt their business. It took them longer to catch what I was then trying to teach as I fixed the things in my business that I needed to fix. I lost a whole leg of my organization because of the way I used to coach. A whole leg. Because when I went in and tried to fix what I had created, they didn't want to fix it. They didn't want to change. They were fine doing it the way they were doing it. And it duplicated all the way down through that leg. And it was an ED leg. Oh, actually, it was a regional director leg. And it was like 5 levels deep. and I lost almost the whole leg because I set a bad duplicable model for them. So don't be me. Learn from my mistakes. I had some other coaches that had done the same thing too, but they were able to kind of come back around. Y'all heard from one of them the other day, Misty. I did not set a good coaching example for her, but she has been able to turn it around because she's coachable and she's teachable. And she reached a point of pain that was so great that she either had to change and do something different or she was going to quit. And y'all heard her talk about that. So please, 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 please learn from me with this. Now, we have talked about referrals. And I want to tell you, when you have a structured day of coaching and you're coaching from the life book, like we're talking about, and you're teaching your clients to be empowered and you're helping them to outgrow you, there's so much trust and relationship and connection there that referrals just happen. They are basically shouting your name from the rooftops. They are seeing posts on Facebook and they're connecting you with people who need you that you would never even have seen or known about. They are sending their friends and their family your way. They are literally walking and talking, because it's not just about what the physical looks like. They are walking and talking billboards for your business. They are ambassadors for your business, and they will refer to you if you teach them how, if you ask them, or if they're just a natural connector. They're going to refer to you because you're going to teach them things like, people are going to start noticing that you talk different. They're going to start noticing that you're not participating in the gossip when everybody's bashing their husbands. They're going to start noticing that you're not talking about Tina down the street that y'all all used to, talk about. They're going to notice that your skin looks better. They're going to notice that you just kind of have this glow about you. They're probably also going to notice that you're losing weight. And people are going to ask you what you're doing. And guess what? You're going to tell them. You're going to tell them, I'm doing this amazing program that works on me from the inside out. And one of the things that happens is I get healthy in my body, but I also get healthy in my mind so that I don't have to do this yo-yo again. Do you want to come do it with me? Let's do this together. And you begin to build community. I teach every single client that I have that we are going to build community. It is a goal I have for them, and it's a goal they should have for themselves. Because 3 years from now, when they've been doing optimization, I don't want them to start slipping up because something big triggered in their life and they have nobody around them that's supporting them. They have people still around them who they're having to really, really, really be strong with, because they're pushing the queso at the Mexican restaurant, or they're saying, oh girl, it's fine, just eat the piece of cake, or whatever it is that these accomplices in our life do. Like, eventually they're going to bring you down. They are going to bring you down to their level. So we want to bring them up to our level. If y'all were on the Wednesday night call last night, holy moly, they were talking about having lean and green parties and bringing their community into their life and creating that culture. That's what we teach our clients. And when you do that and you have the trust and they're seeing these results, they are going to refer to you. It creates a culture. Referring is a culture that you want to create. And ultimately, we want them to be coaches. We do. But occasionally, for whatever reason, sometimes people don't want to, but that doesn't mean they can't continue to be an ambassador for your program and stay integrated. So that brings me to old clients who come back, those reactivated clients, those clients who fell off program for some reason or went into optimization, but like Rachel was talking about earlier, they passed the test but failed the exam, so they just used it as a diet and food, and they did great and it was beautiful, but things start to fall apart. The wheels start to come off at some point. They start to gain some weight back or whatever happens, and they reach back out to you. Well, first of all, for me, sometimes they're not reaching back out to me because I continue to reach out to them. If I have a client that for whatever reason needs to pause program, who needs to stop program, who's ready to transition and go into optimization, and then they're done with me. If I've spent a lot of invested time in this person, like I am invested in their life. I care about them and their kids and their husband and their job. Like, I'm not going to just like say, okay, bye. Like, I'm in relationship with this person. At this point, they're my friend, they're my family. I'm going to continue to build this relationship with this person. So it's never typically them reaching back out unless they just completely cut communication with me, which doesn't typically happen. So I'll give you an example. I had a client the other week. She's had some things come up in her life. She has decided she's going to pause program. Part of it is because she has accomplished all those initial goals and she didn't want to set new ones. And that's okay. I am loving her through this pause in our program. And you might feel like if somebody's pausing the program, you might let that ego come up and you might be like, oh, this is about me. I don't want to reach out to them, get all icky about it. I push past it because it's not about me. It's about them. And so I know she likes do-it-yourself projects. I know she likes to hike. Like, I'm in relationship with this person. I've been coaching her for 6 months and I've known her for way longer than that. And so I'm like, hey, what do-it-yourself projects are you doing? Like, I make a point to reach out and ask that sort of thing. I saw that she and her husband were going on a little anniversary trip. And I'm like, hey, where y'all going hiking? When are you going to make a trip down here to the beach to see me? Put it on your calendar that we're going to have a trip. You're going to come down and see me at the beach. I don't care that I do care. I want her to be on program because I want her to reach her ultimate goals. But I don't care that she is not doing program right now. And I'm not coaching her on our, daily or our day of support. I am still going to stay in relationship with her because guess what she's going to do? She's going to come back. And when she does, we're still going to have that trust and we're still going to have that relationship and we're still going to have that connection. And that's going to make it really easy to just reactivate and keep on rolling. Now, for those people, maybe you didn't stay in touch with, maybe they're coming back and you hadn't spoken to them since the day they went off program. When they come back, you're going to do another health assessment. And if you aren't doing another health assessment, you're missing out on an opportunity, because that is the time when you find out where they currently are in life, because surely they're not in the same place they were when you left them. That is when you can create new goals. That's when you can get new buy-in. That's when you can tell them that we're going to get the life book this time because you're coming back to me. Obviously, we did something wrong the first time. I messed up. I didn't coach you as I should. I put it back on myself. We're going to do it differently this time. I've learned a lot. I'm a different coach now. And we're going to do the life book because I want you to be successful. I don't want to do this again. I just want to be friends later on. Like, I don't want you to have to keep coming back to me. I want us to get off this diet yo-yo train. And so I make it a condition of me coaching them again that they get the life book. And we do, and we get in and we integrate. But I don't know if y'all listened the other day when Rachel said one more bite of integration. Sometimes they're really resistant to it. And so it's something like, okay, could you listen to a podcast this week? Okay, well, how about let's see if we can get on that call. Would you do a struggling client call? So you might have to slowly get them back in. But most of my clients who are reactivating, I'm either still in relationship with them, so we can just keep right on rolling, or they know it didn't work last time. They're coming back to me because they know this worked for their nutrition, but they want the other pieces. And so it's really easy to do and integrate them in and bring them back into the fold so that they can continue their journey. That's all I have, Rachel.
Oh my gosh, so many nuggets. Oh my goodness, thank you so much. I think in closing, what I would say is, are you approaching your life book? So I saw in the chat, I was trying to catch up with the chat. The chat was saying a lot of like, I need that cheat sheet and I need that. And let me just tell you something. That's fine. We can create tools. Tools are amazing, but there is absolutely no substitution for you in your life book. Great coaches are great clients. Integrated. What layer of integration are you missing out on that you can't talk about from a place other than academia, right? Where like we can't afford to come at it from an academic standpoint because that creates this superior, inferior client position. And we're trying to tell the client, no, you're here with me. I don't know stuff. Like Kelly said, I don't have to know everything. I know where to find it. And you don't have to know everything. You just got to know where to find it. And between the Wednesday night calls, the app, the community page, the life book, the Habits of Health 2.0 book, and all your mentors, are you ever going to be caught not knowing where to find something? Probably not. So you don't want to approach this from a space of, where do I find the answers so that I know where to give them out. It's more, I'm living through the life book. It's changing my marriage. It's changing my finances. It's changing my triggers. And I see that I have a propensity towards food addiction. And I didn't even know that when I signed up on program, right? So now you're talking from this place of authenticity. And it's hard not to shout it from the mountaintops when this thing is starting to change your life, right? So I think a big gut check for all of us is, are we integrated? Or are we approaching integration from a place of authority or academics, right? And that would definitely not bring a lot of coaches into our organization, because they're going to say, oh, I could never do what you do, right? So keep that in mind. The action steps, we're going to go through them really quick. I'm going to share my screen here and make sure that we have those up and running for you guys. Just 1 second. My goodness, I never can find these things. Okay, hang tight, guys. I've got them here. And I'm going to share them. All right, there we go. So let me minimize that. Oh goodness. So I always struggle with this, guys. I'm going to give you some humility right now. I'm going to have them up. Let me at least read them off to you, because I took time to type them and made them all pretty. So you are going to read element 12 in your life book. Okay, that is your first challenge. It literally takes about, I timed it, it takes about 12 to 15 minutes to skim that. And then to go back and read it will take a little bit more time. That is the actual best place to send a client, so that they start to understand the constituents of our program. The next thing is, ask 3 clients today, or people on your scared list, if they would be open to hearing about what health coaching is and isn't. And make sure that you qualify why you think they would be an amazing coach. I see you in our client support page. You've been such an amazing contributor. Would you be open to exploring what coaching is and isn't at some time with me in the next couple of days? And then if they say, well, yes, go ahead and send that video, either the Becca Tincture video or the Dan Bell, depending on their background, but send us a short video. I would recommend the small one, just to get their ability to see that and then get on the phone with you. Ask 3 clients today for a shout out on their personal page and have them tag you. Have them say something that is a non-scale victory. So nothing that even has to do with weight loss, but something that is a non-scale victory would be ideal. So they start thinking about how many people need sleep, energy, focus, clarity, rid themselves of brain fog, whatever it is that they're starting to see, or maybe just their relationship with food and overall well-being. Set up 3 celebration calls today with clients and say, I want to start working with you on team coaching. Team coaching is a huge part of why I am where I'm at. I've lost 25 pounds, or I've done these things. Let them know that the team coaching is what brought that into your life. So maybe there's a couple of clients in your base that you're like, I didn't even do a week 1 celebration call with them. I didn't even do a month 1 celebration call with them. I made a decision that they wouldn't like group coaching. Go back and set up a few of those today with your mentor team and tell that client, whether they've had their weight off for 6 months, it doesn't matter. Let's celebrate people that were never celebrated in the beginning, because maybe we weren't the coach that we are now. Okay, it's okay to make mistakes. We just got to go back and die on the sword and learn from them. And then today, do a live video on something, anything from our life book. Okay, it could be in your client support page, but ideally on your personal Facebook. And you don't need to say, this is from my life book and give out our information, but you could let them know that you have this intense, amazing personal development journey that you've been on. And one of the principles is healthy surroundings. Share something from the life book today. Okay, so those are our steps. They will be posted most immediately in the group. And we thank you all for your time and staying with us this morning as we went a little bit over. Have a very blessed day, everyone.